Good evening to you all faithful viewers of Equinoxe Television. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us. Right away, we begin with Her Majesty, the former General Manager of the National Broadcaster, Amadou Vamuki, has been sentenced to 12 years imprisonment. The decision, which came yesterday, comes after a controversial trial which had been adjourned several times. And in this newscast, we tell you that the government of Cameroon has been urged to leave women to get freely in politics so as for them to reach their full potentials. Details and more in this newscast. Stay with us. Welcome back, viewers. We begin with this element of the news. The former general manager of the CRTV, the National Broadcaster of Cameroon, has been sentenced to 12 years imprisonment. The decision came yesterday at Ross in Yaoundé after a controversial trial which had been adjourned several times. A reporter for me, Armstrong Sander, now reviews the curiosity surrounding the Vamuki affair in this report.
Curiosity lies in its record as the longest trial ever handled by the Special Criminal Court since its creation in Cameroon. With a record 6 years of preventive detention, Amadou Vamuki suffered 90 court appearances and 138 adjournments. Amadou Vamuki spent 2,000 days behind bars in sharp contradiction with the Cameroon Penal Code, which fixes pre-trial detentions at maximum 18 months. Accused of embezzling public funds worth 3 billion francs CFA, Amadou Vamuki rejected the accusations since the preliminary investigations, a denial that failed to secure him a release, keeping him behind bars since the 29th of July 2016. After a repeated and sustained trial, the Special Criminal Court ruled against the former CRTV boss. In a late Tuesday, December the 20th, 2022 declaration, the court in Yaoundé slammed a 12-year jail term and a 47 million francs CFA fine on the 72-year-old Vamuki. He was declared guilty of embezzling public funds amounting to some 617,565,000 francs CFA in co-action with the former Minister of Finance, Minister Polycarp Ababa. Polycarp Ababa, who was already sentenced to 17 years in prison. The state media, the CRTV, and the Minister of Finance, a civil party to the trial, are asking for the collection of the embezzled amounts.
And the government of Cameroon has been urged to leave women to get freely involved in politics so they can show their know-how or reach their full potentials. Gender equality requires commitment from every leader at every level of power in every sector. Our reporter Immaculate Fogwe tells us that women have also been called upon not to shy away from politics. Well, we come back to this report by Immaculate Fogwe. She tells us that the Cameroonian government has been urged to leave women to get freely involved in politics so as for them to reach their full potentials. Meantime, women also have been told not to shy away from politics. Let's now have the report of Immaculate Fogwe.
There is no doubt that there are few successful women in a predominantly male-dominated Cameroon political profession. However, success in this context is defined as actually running the main ministries that carry power and influence. Out of 63 ministers, just 8 of them are women. In the 10 regions of Cameroon, no woman has been appointed governor. Girls and women have a right to engage in civil society, vote during elections, be elected to government offices and make their voices heard in any process that will have an effect on their families, communities and country.
We nomme les personnes qui prennent des décisions.
We have very few women in government ministries in Cameroon. Several women don't engage in politics because they doubt the electoral process. Look at the number of ministers sent behind bars for embezzlement. You don't see any woman among. It's just to prove that women are better managers.
Parmi tous les détourneurs qui sont en prison? Il y a combien de femmes? On dit
Political accountability begins with the increasing number of women in decision-making positions, but it cannot stop there. What is required are gender-sensitive reforms that will make all elected officials more effective at promoting gender equality in public policy and ensuring their implementation. We believe that paving the way for women to participate in political business and civic arenas is an investment. They should be appointed in what is sometimes regarded as juicy positions. Some traditions and religion consider women as subordinate, and that's so bad. Some men consider women as merchandise just because they have paid their dowries. 27 years after the adoption of the Beijing Declaration, which set the international target for reaching gender equality in political decision-making, women are still underestimated.
And now we take you to the Far North Regional Headquarters of Marwa, where butchers there have staged a protest demonstration. They say they are not obliged to work with the chief of Marwa 1. He is imposing on them to control their activities. That is, the Lamido is imposing on them to control their activities. According to the disgruntled butchers, this is an impossible reason for their recent staged protest demonstration. Let's now have more with our staffman Innocent Aze.
A hostile demonstration of butchers in Marwa 2 in the Far North region. Several persons were injured, like this man. Windscreen of a vehicle destroyed. These butchers protest against the Lamido of Marwa. They accuse of imposing them a certain Ibrahim from Marwa 1, new heads of butchery activities in Marwa 2.
On demande au Lamido de Marwa, c'est la paix qu'on veut.
We are here to tell the Lamido of Marwa, it is peace we want. Here in Marwa 2, we have a coordinator. We cannot be controlled by someone from Marwa 1. It is impossible. Our Butchers Association has a president and we are answerable to him. So we are not obliged to work with someone else. It is not the first time these butchers are protesting over the same issue. According to the divisional officer of Marwa 2, who descended to the scene, this repeated protest has been disturbing public peace and tranquility. In this condition, we cannot assure security. Imagine what would have happened if we were not here today. It took hours for the security forces, accompanied by the divisional officer, to restore calm. The butchers were dispersed by the soft and assuring words of the administrative officer, who promised to table the matter to his collaborators and subordinates for discussion and definite solution.
And in Banka, in the Mongol division of the Litwa region, the local population is complaining about the price hike of basic necessities, especially during these end-of-year festivities. They say it is really going to be very difficult for them to satisfy their families, as Mala Glory tells us in the report which comes up next.
It is the joy of every parent to put a smile on their children's faces during Christmas celebration. This is often done either by offering to the child their best toy game or their best clothes. Just like these women, or the parents in the town of Mbanga, Mongo division of the Littoral region, wish to satisfy their children but complain of an increase on the prices of goods.
Very, very expensive. It's not easy. Yes. We have financial situation here, especially here in Mbanga. It's not easy. So a dozen of pants we used to buy it for 2,000. Now it's 35. Dresses like this dress we used to come here, they give us for 225. Now you ask, she says 6,000.
Retailers on their part say the purchase cost has increased, and in order to make profit, they must increase selling price. There are some clothes which I bought at 2,500 francs and now selling them at 3,000 francs, but yet no one is ready to buy. Since morning, I have not been able to sell even a pair of shoes. In Banga, just like elsewhere in Cameroon, many complain of an increase in the prices of basic commodities and the high cost of living. A situation which they say will affect the festive season, as it will be difficult to satisfy their loved ones with limited finances.
And now the spectacular goal which was scored by Cameroonian striker Boubacar Vincent in the match against the Serbian national side has been nominated as the best goal in the entire World Cup competition, which just ended in Qatar. Our reporter Smart Jikan Gabriel now tells us how to vote for our own Boubacar Vincent in this write-up.
After 64 exciting games, the FIFA World Cup in Qatar saw 172 goals hit the back of the net, which is now an all-time record, surpassing the 171 goals scored in 1998 and 2014. Here comes the hard part, deciding which of the 172 goals was the best. Before it being nominated amongst the best goal of the tournament, international media outlets like the Daily Mail already saw Vincent Aboubakar's goal against Serbia as the goal of the tournament, alongside Al Jazeera that said the goal was a historic one. To crown it all, FIFA on the 10th of December 2022 released a list of the best goals of the FIFA World Cup, with Vincent Aboubakar nominated. Vincent Aboubakar came up from the substitution bench in the second half of their game against Serbia when the Lions were down 1-3 to chip Vanja Miliskovic-Savic from an improbable angle, which started the dramatic comeback for the indomitable Lions against the Serbs. The goal of Vincent Aboubakar, which had to go through the screening of the video assistant referee VAR before it was approved, is now in competition for the best goal of the FIFA World Cup 2022. Vincent Aboubakar is the only African on the list. To vote for the goal of Vincent Aboubakar as the best goal of the FIFA World Cup, simply go to http://play.fifa.com/GOTT. Vincent Aboubakar's goal is in contention with 9 other goals. Saudi Arabia's Salem Al Dawsri calling winner against Argentina, Brazil's Richarlison's scissors kick against Serbia alongside Richarlison's goal against South Korea, Holland's Cody Gakpo's left-footed outside the box hit when he played against Ecuador, Argentina's youngest player of the tournament Enzo Fernandez's ridiculous lofted chip shot against Mexico, Mexico's Luis Chavez rocket free kick against Saudi Arabia, Francis Kylian Mbappe's hard-hit finesse strike into the top right corner of Polish goalpost, South Korea's Paik Song-ho's long-range shot against Brazil, and Nima's pinnacle of Jogo Bonito against Croatia. The different votes will be collected this Thursday by FIFA's committee in charge of the best goal scored during the FIFA World Cup.
And check this out.
Voting ends tonight, so let's all vote for our compatriot Aboubacar Vincent. And now, viewers, before we go, let's now present to you the images of a government primary school in Balalum. Balalum is a locality in the Bamboutus division of the West region of Cameroon. The school is said to be in total dilapidation. Let's now have the images in this write-up.
We are not in an abandoned building. We are in a school, the government primary school of Balalum, Bamekumbu Division, West Region. The pupils learn in fear of not having the walls fall on them. Looking at the walls, one can notice huge cracks with rotten falling roof. The pupils and the teachers of the institution fear an imminent collapse of the building. According to the teachers, during the learning and the teaching process, pupils get wet with the presence of large holes on the roofs, and during the dry season, They are not left out from inhaling the huge dust blown into the classrooms by strong winds. After several complaints, the teachers of government primary school Balalum are questioning if the government is waiting for the worst to happen before reacting. They are calling on the authorities to come to their rescue.
Hopefully the authorities and also the edits of the Bamboo Tools division hear them. And viewers, thank you so much for always being with us. Don't go away. The news in the French language as usual comes up at exactly 8 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television.